So as far as I feel like learning from porn, when you're supposed to have sex, when you're married, you learn together. Like if he pick you up and he drops you, then it's like, oh my God, you just dropped me.
And I challenge anybody on it. If you're watching porn, when you're looking at those porn actors, you're not looking at them and thinking to yourself, you know what? That is the best. That is her best life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she is the best version of her right now.
Those deep kisses, I've had the deep ones that's sexual behavior. And then some of them are innocent, little kisses. Y'all cannot tell me that you haven't had kisses that count as sexual behavior.
I feel you.
With all that tongue and all of that extra rubbing.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but I'm saying that I don't think that you would be like, okay, yeah, like if you did that with somebody else right now, like, and then you came back and you like, real talk, okay, I kissed somebody, but it's not gonna be the same as if you be like, real talk, like I slept with, such and such. I feel like those things are really different.
Well, so with oral sex,
I do. I feel like that's really different.
Those are different.
I don't think the kissing itself. Now, if other stuff follow, then you're in trouble. But
you don't count that as a part of the kiss. Like if you kissing and groping, that's like a part of the kiss.
Okay, the grope. No,
that's not.
It's not part of the kiss.
Slow dancing. Can you slow dance? Can a dude slow dance without cupping your booty? No. Who does that? That's like a part of the dance.
Like Maya has excuse.
That's just a part of the kiss. Where your hands gonna go with your kisses?
Where were the chaperones at your school dances?
These were not school dances. These dances were at Adrian and Andrea Curry's house. Those were the best dances. No, we all went. They had the best parties in the town. We were packed like this. I'm surprised they had room to even get their hands to cup their booty. You went to house parties? That's how your show. He was like house parties. Pentecostal let you sneak out to go to the house.
I had to, like what you just said. I had to tell her, sorry, Mom, I was not at cousin Brina's house. I was
cousin Brina. Now cousin Brina.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yep. So y'all are going with no for the kisses. I'm out here by myself.
You out there by yourself, baby.
So people are, you can kiss, no problem. If you're on a path to purity. Until you get married, all the sloppy kissing is okay.
I mean, you have to know.
So where do you draw the line? And I'm asking because we got to be able to teach people this.
I don't know where the line should be drawn because I'm not on the path of purity. So
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
I don't know where you would draw the line.
Where should Christians draw the line?
I commend you for your honesty.
On the path to purity.
You're telling it.
I think we have to just be honest with them that kissing is not fornication, but everything can lead to whatever. Everything can be a gateway.
It's the gateway.
Well, tell me that. And first I want to know, do you think it's wrong? Do you think sexual immorality is wrong?
Sexual immorality is wrong. I think that kissing as an act is not
immoral.
Right, but I think that it can be a gateway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's ginger ale, not beer.
It can lead to some things.
Okay.
I think that parts of it are wrong. I mean, because when you look at the definition of it, it groups a lot of things when it gives examples. It says lust and the fornication and prostitution and things like that. So I can't group all of those things together because I don't look at those things equally. I don't look at prostitution as the same thing as kissing somebody. I don't look at the fornication as the same thing as just lusting after somebody.
You don't think it's all sin?
I think it's all sin.
That's what my question is. Okay. Is it all wrong? Because sin is wrong, right?
Yeah, it is.
Kissing is not sin.
And
kissing is not sin. No kind of kiss.
No kind of kiss.
Okay.
That's why
you just feel like it's a gateway to something that's sinful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything outside of kissing, do you feel like that's sinful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything outside of
the actual
I'm going no.
Inner
playing with boobies, fingering.
Nope, sin.
That's sin.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you said that's no sin?
It's no sin?
Yeah, I do. I think you've crossed the line at that point.
Now you're about to be where I was. I was like, if it ain't intercourse, then
it ain't sin.
But it said sexual relations.
Yeah. No, I think
This is good. I want to know what these people.
Well,
So
I'm gonna say
saying
that there's a way to interpret a kiss that is not necessarily, anything sexual. There's just not a way to interpret me playing with somebody's
Right.
titties as, well, we're just having fun.
We just having
And some things are
fun.
deeper than
Yeah.
others, and I just don't think a kiss
You know.
is that as deep as.
But some kisses are so deep.
Some kisses are, but I'm saying that there is
What if it causes you to lust?
well, then maybe for
Well,
you it
you
is.
kissing and ain't lusting. I'm not talking about greet your brother with a Christian kid. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about kiss sister Odell. No, you don't want to. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you are so fine. I'm crazy about you. Come over here and give me a kiss.
And you think that's a sin?
I'm saying, where's your mind going? I never thought before I read that and I said, well, is that because I was under the impression as long as you weren't having intercourse that it's all free game.
I'm standing with that.
Yeah,
as far as sin goes. But it's not.
I'd like for you to cut it off before the intercourse.
What base? 1, 2, 3, 4.
There are some things. I think really anything beyond the kiss. Like I said, I think kissing is the gateway.
So
like
you need to put your hands behind your back.
Once you've walked through that gate of kissing, anything that happens after that, like it could be trouble.
So that's your. I cannot wait to hear what y'all say about this. Please get in these comments and tell me what you think, because I don't think anybody at this table will agree.
I don't think
so. You're saying anything past a kiss?
Anything past the kiss, I think you are. Yeah,
you're
walking a path.
You're walking a path.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, I don't.
So what can your hands do while you kiss to be sin free?
I don't know. I mean, your hands have to enter my body for it to be sinful. Like
really?
I really think. Well, I mean, maybe.
Why are you grabbing your titties? Can we have a regular conversation?
Man, is there an intermission in this interview?
But I like touch. Touch is just
sorry.
like
man, that's my bad.
Me too.
I do. I like touch, so that's pleasurable to me. So a little touch might be a different level of pleasure than a big touch.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know how to.
But see, pleasure. Are we supposed to be experiencing?
Well, see, and that's the thing.
Pleasure?
And in all honesty, this is why this conversation is important, because there is so much gray area.
It is.
It is really difficult to have a sex conversation and not acknowledge, you know what, there is a very, very broad area that can be interpreted in multiple ways.
Yes,
right. And it depends on what your experiences were when you were a child, what you were taught, who had conversations with you. Because we grew up in the same house. You guys are best friends. Y'all are husband and wife, and we have four
different things.
Right.
I got something even more specific than that. I say kissing is not sin. As far as you can go, everything on the top half is good. Once you get to the clothes on the bottom half, it's sin.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know who you agree with?
Who?
My auntie.
Yep.
One of them. One of them said, I would. No, she had. Never mind. She said, I would never
please
let
don't say.
I would never let a Winnie come above here. she had. Never mind.
So please don't say everything that she said.
So everything you do, if shirts come off, you fine.
You said if the shirt comes off, you're fine?
Mm-hmm. Everything above the waist.
Everything above the waist you do.
Not a sin.
Not a sin.
When you guys talk about it, it seems so wrong. But like you said, I really think that it has a lot to do with my experiences. Like, I don't think that touch is bad. So yes, a touch on your titty might be bad, but a touch on mine is what I'm used to. Is what, what segued into this sexual life that I have.
Right.
So that's not that bad to me. Now, am I trying to make light of what happened to me or saying that, those things were not wrong? Absolutely not, because they were. Mm-hmm. I just don't look at it as intense as some people do, because it is something that I'm used to over and over. And it didn't mean anything then.
Right.
So that's probably why it doesn't mean a whole lot now.
Right.
Okay.
That does. And so how do we, as a body of Christ, teach children about this? Because we didn't get taught in our church.
Right.
So a whole lot, ask questions, but we weren't like, hey, let me sit down and talk to you. Or even if it's not in church, as parents, how do we communicate with our kids? I got 2 little ones,
Mm-hmm.
4-year-old daughter, 1-year-old son that I will talk to because my mama talked to me. What do I teach them about? Because we're responsible for teaching them right and wrong. So what can I tell them? And my daughter is a lot like me. I just feel like, she probably flaming a little bit just like me. She's probably, she moves around like I do. So I know she's going to have similar conversations, like questions. How do I answer these for her? Like, this is right, this is wrong. Because I want to be biblical, but it's like, but I know what she's feeling.
Right. I think at some point it has to move beyond the right versus wrong, because there are so many times when for us it really doesn't matter. We know that things are wrong and we do them anyway. We pursue them even.
Right.
And so I think it really comes down to the consequences of your behavior. Mm-hmm. Right. We have to. It is your responsibility to make sure that your son and your daughter fully understand the consequences of those decisions. Right. That there can be some things that can be really beautiful and really amazing and feels really good, and there can also be some things that can destroy your life. They can be really emotional, a lot of pain involved, in it. The jealousy, bitterness that comes along with it sometimes, the pregnancies, the diseases. There are consequences that come with your decisions, right? And as long as they fully understand that, then quite honestly, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. You can tell them. I mean, I had a mom who, I knew she loved the Lord, and she was in the Bible, and she taught us the Bible, and I knew that she wouldn't be happy with some of the things that I was doing, but I did it anyway. And so it's not just about you knowing that it's wrong, but there has to be some understanding that you know the consequences.
I can think what made me open up with the people that I did open up was the first time when you talk about these subjects, you don't cringe. You don't make them uncomfortable. Because if I tried talking, God rest my grandmother's soul, but if I talked to her about sex, it was always, boy, you better not do that. You're gonna burn in hell, and you need to keep your pecker in your pants, and pecker in your pants. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I can't tell her nothing. But when you talk to your uncle, well, let me tell you, son, it's all right. If you
take it back out.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and I'm not saying that is the right approach, but he didn't cringe when I talked to him about it, when I came. So if they come to us as Christians, the first thing we got to do is make them feel, okay, the way you feel is okay. What you're thinking is okay. But now it goes to what you were saying.
Because you're right, that as Christians, we are tempted, at least initially, to be like, you ain't got no business talking about that. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? You too young.
You too young. You can't. Right.
Are they too young to be doing it? Maybe. They did it when they were young back in the day. They used to get married at 13 and 14 and have those kids. And so, but yeah, we are inclined to make them feel bad for thinking about it, for feeling those feelings. And yeah, I think you're right.
That wasn't my experience either. Like, my mama talked to me and said that sex is beautiful. I've heard lots of people say that they had to overcome thinking that it was nasty and disgusting to actually have a moment with her husband. But she told me it was beautiful. She said that, I don't enjoy it like I should, but there's something wrong with me.
Right.
And I want you to enjoy it because you're supposed to. But there's a time and place when you are supposed to. So she did. She talked to me about that, and she was the first person that I told when I had sex, because she had open lines of communication. But even those lines didn't keep me from moving forward. I still, even when I told her, I said, I really, as soon as I got there, I was like, I really want to have sex. She said, you need to anoint your head with some oil and pray. And I was like, girl, I want to, girl.
I'm going to tell you, okay, so I got 2 kids. I got a 19-year-old and a 9-year-old. And I am, I feel really weird about this. I feel like I have failed them as a parent as far as this whole sexual thing. So I didn't have anybody to teach me, the correct way or whatever. So when my oldest was coming up, Maya used to tell me when he was in 7th grade, you better have a talk with him. Like, kids are in middle school having sex. You better have a talk with him. You don't know what he's doing. And me, my naive self, nah, yeah, they ain't doing nothing. My baby's only in 7th grade. So I just let that just kind of wash by me. And I didn't really, grab him and teach him about sex like I should have. So now here we are with my 9-year-old. And I kind of found myself doing the same thing, just pretty much not grabbing him like I should. And so here we are, 3 months ago, I just found out the boy been watching porn, online for a very long time.
It's accessible.
And it is. Everything is accessible online for them now. And it just never dawned on me that my son could be looking at things that give us adults so much pleasure.
Right.
It could be giving him pleasure too. And so, I've been thinking about it over these past 3 months since I found out and stuff. Of course, took all the internet away from him. My son told me he was addicted to porn at 9 years old.
Wow.
To be able to verbalize that to me, that he has an addiction to porn, I didn't even want to talk about it at first. He didn't get in trouble. I didn't yell at him.
That's
took his computer. Not gonna yell at him. That was totally on me because I had not been talking to him like I should. I beat myself up for it for days. Didn't talk to nobody. Didn't even talk to Maya about it. Nobody.
I would love to keep this conversation going in the chat. So go ahead and put your thoughts down there so we can keep it going and we can interact with you and get your thoughts just so we can all come together and learn the best way to communicate about sex and faith.
Until I finally realized, this is not going to get resolved until we have a real deal conversation in a way that he can understand and not feel like he's being punished for having a very natural feeling that comes to us as humans. We have nerve endings that give us particular feelings that we tend to like. And so, just kind of thinking about it now, it makes sense. He was having issues wetting in the bed. And I was like, why does he keep wetting the bed? And I'm thinking about it now, that probably, because my son was addicted to porn, probably played a very large part of that. So I chose to have a conversation with him about, what sex really is for. That was hard for me because as I'm telling him these things, I don't believe it myself.
You're asking yourself, what is sex really for?
Right. So that was really difficult for me. And it still is. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. How can I tell him that, it's only for this when sex to me is about a feeling.
Right.
It fulfills a desire that I have. It's just that feeling. Now, intimacy comes with sex and stuff, and I love that. I've felt that before. I have felt the intimacy that comes with sex.
Right.
But sex as a whole is just about a feeling for me. It made me feel good. Sex or sexual things made him feel good. Right. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around how to really explain this to him. Now, here's the thing. I don't think porn is bad. I think an addiction to porn is bad.
Right.
But I think that porn can be toxic as well as beneficial.
Right.
To him, in my opinion, all the porn was toxic. He doesn't know what he's doing with that yet.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Not decipher.
It can be beneficial. You can learn some stuff. Don't use it as an addiction and stuff, but you can learn some things that can help you in your sexual,
See, we disagree there.
Okay.
Because Ed and I have disagreed on camera there. I feel like porn is immoral. I don't think it's right. And this is coming from someone who had a porn addiction. Like a real life one.
Is it because you're watching other people in their intimacy?
I started to feel convicted. See, me with these sexual convictions, I have waves. And I fought through it. Even with, I never got to a place that y'all were talking about where y'all had sex and didn't feel like it was wrong. I felt like it was wrong every step of the way. And several times I was like, I don't know how many born again virgins I've been. I'm like, I ain't doing it no more.
But it came from your early mindset that you were not giving your stuff up.
My porn collection, I build it up. I'm talking about great ones. This back in VHS, DVD days. And then I'll shred it and get rid of it. And then I'll be like, nah, I got to start over because now I'm back into it.
But
and
see,
then,
you're pulling something totally different out of porn than what I'm pulling out of it. And maybe that's why we look at it two totally different ways.
Correct.
Porn to you, it was an addiction. Like you had to see that and stuff.
It was enjoyable. It was pleasurable. But I started to feel convicted because the spirit told me that what you're doing is wrong.
It's not enjoyable to me. I don't want to see all of that, like that continuous stuff.
Why did you
I'm
copy
only
me?
I'm sorry.
So you say
Kendra.
that you don't enjoy it?
I don't enjoy watching it, the act of it.
See, I watched it for fun
I
without
don't.
masturbating.
I
or
enjoy
anything.
learning things. I enjoy finding new.
You don't learn nothing.
I do.
Other people might.
What
You've
kind
done
of?
enough.
Well, if you still watching your VHS, then you ain't gonna learn nothing.
No, I'm saying we're grown. I can see you saying.
No, let me give you an example. You want me to give you an example?
Yeah.
We might have to cut this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What is your example?
the first time I was picked up during sexual intercourse, I had no clue what to do.
Okay.
I'm a big girl. Had no clue what to do.
Is this-
Probably scratched his neck all up, all that stuff.
Oh,
I went back and I watched some porn. And now I know what to do because when I was picked up again, I knew exactly where to put my hands. I knew exactly where to put my feet so that I didn't feel like he was going to drop me. It was beneficial for me.
This is interesting, and this is my question. Were you supposed to be getting picked up?
Yes.
No. You just said that you feel like it's wrong. You supposed to be getting picked up by your husband, and y'all are supposed to.
No,
have
I
trial
just
and
said
error.
that sex is about a feeling for me.
But you know that your feeling is wrong because you said it was. You said you felt that sex before marriage was wrong.
What did I say?
So
Did I say that?
roll the tape.
We gotta roll the tape because I don't know.
You just
Did
told
I
me
say
that you
that?
felt like it was a sin.
I've been told that it's a sin. Now, my personal feeling, I really don't feel like sex before marriage is like
Roll the
just.
tape.
Please roll the tape. When did I?
Did she not say that?
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
So you don't feel like it's wrong.
I don't.
Well, you can put people on blast.
You feel like God is okay with sex before marriage.
Oh my gosh.
This is because this is what the conversation is for. You are not the only one because I had sex before marriage. Everybody at this table did, and a lot of y'all did too.
A lot of y'all did too, so don't judge out
So a lot of
Don't
people
judge
had
out
a lot
sex
of
before
people.
marriage.
Don't judge
So that's
out
not
there.
what we don't be coming up here.
I would say probably the majority. I don't care if they go for me.
No, because I really don't. You don't have nothing to say.
I don't
to my
care
friend.
y'all go for me because I mean, I really don't. I don't see anything wrong with having sex
Does
before
God
marriage.
see something that's wrong?
You asked me my opinion. You didn't ask me what was God's
Well, what did he
opinion. Look, I know what the Bible says. I do.
You don't agree with it?
I do agree with it. This is about to go into a totally different conversation.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think that's a
This
different
is.
level.
It is.
That's
It's
a
about to go into a different
different
conversation.
Okay. Do you want to table it or do you?
Yeah,
want-
let's table it.
We'll come back for y'all. Okay. So as far as I feel like learning from porn, when you're supposed to have sex, when you're married, you learn together. Like if he pick you up and he drops you, then it's like, oh my God, you just dropped me. Okay, what can we do to figure out how to get this done if you want to get picked up? That's y'all.
But in reality, like, are you really gonna marry somebody that ain't had sex? Is that are they out there right now?
No, but
See, I'm not gonna
out
lie.
there,
Right
but
now, like this is real talk.
Yeah.
Like
This is-
I mean, she is
That's why I'm
saying
glad we're here.
she's saying
Absolutely.
things that like there's no cap in this. Like
No.
It ain't
this is
supposed
to be.
people
This is
because people
uncut.
even if people say they feel differently than what
But they
she's
do something
saying,
different.
they do
'Cause
what
I
she's
did.
saying.
Because I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like
You
that
did it,
is-
you did, and you
That's
did
right.
too.
I'm
That
just gonna
is-
be real about
This
it.
is people will say one thing, but they're doing
They're
what
doing
she's saying.
something.
I know a ton of people, and I only know 2 people that are not doing what she's talking about.
Yeah,
I know 2.
I don't know.
yeah. So we can be like, yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
it.
well, yeah, God thinks it's wrong, but we have all done it. Like,
Yeah.
we all would like to do it more. And then the porn stuff. Okay, like, can I chime in on the porn?
Please.
Absolutely.
Please.
All right, because my feeling has changed on that some in the last, in the last couple of
Really?
years.
Okay.
But in teaching, y'all know I teach Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of what the sermons that I listen to, the study that I do, and what I teach is about getting people to be the best version of themselves. They have a purpose that God has called them into the world for, and you need to be the best version of you to be able to do that.
Right.
There is at no point, and I challenge anybody on it, if you're watching porn, when you're looking at those porn actors, you're not looking at them and thinking to yourself, you know what? That is the best. That is her best life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she is the best version of her right now. Like, that is it right there. She is living out her purpose, you know, and as a teacher, like, you know, I can look at this and I can say, you know what? I am honored and I am proud to watch her move in her space because she's being the best possible him or her that I can be right now in this moment.
Oh my God.
And I find it difficult to impossible to think that. And so, you know, because you do like to watch, like, and I feel you, and I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not saying that they're not good at it.
Ain't good.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're not good at it.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, when I watch you two do this, like, I'm like, you know what? You're in your element. Like, this is kind of your thing. When I watched her do a Christmas children's church thing that we had down there, and she had the party favors and the music, I'm like, you know what? She's in her element. Absolutely. Like, this is her thing. I'm honored to watch her move in this space. Like, I don't know how she is at sex. She might be really good, but I wouldn't think that if I were watching her really put it down on tape, I wouldn't be like, you know what?
That's God's best for us.
I'm honored to watch her, you know, really do that. Yeah, like, this is how God. Okay, so I should rephrase. I would not say this is God's best for her. I would say, you know what? Boy, this is her spot. No, yeah, I would not look at it and be like, you know, this is exactly how God wants me to see her. You know, God wants me to see her this way.
But we can't just pick out pieces, though. I mean, like, you.
No, I mean, that's what I said. Like, what you said is real talk. Like, because that's what people are doing. We say we should be doing this, so we're actually doing something else.
Is drinking to you your sin, or smoking weed to you your sin, or, you know.
Everybody say what? You a weed smoker? Girl, you been cheating?
She pointed real
she
hard.
Did.
So I'm not saying
she
that
like,
God
you drink too much and you
right. I'm not saying, really? You know, that God is just pleased with it and that it's not sin. And it's really easy to say, okay, so you're okay with sinning if you're saying, you know, you're okay with doing this. But that's not the correlation that I'm making here. I'm not okay with sinning. I'm not okay, you know, I don't think it's great to sin, but I just don't think that is, I know it, you want me to say it. We said we was going to table it. Let's go.
I don't know what you was about to say.
I'm going to say, because that's a thought. Like, but it represents, though, that it's the duality. It is what we think. I'm not going to hell. But it's about what we think and what we believe versus what we actually do.
All right.
And so very often we say what we think and what we believe, and we can tell people what we think and what we believe. But what do you do? Because that shows what you really believe.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference in I'm a sinner, and I recognize that I'm a sinner, and every day that I live, I want to be better, but I recognize what I'm doing is wrong. And it's different when I say, this is what I do, and it's not wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm asking you, when you're doing this, do you know that it's wrong? Do you feel like it's wrong? Or are you like, no, this is not? Because, you know, okay, Jesus died for these sins. Did he die for that?
He died for it. Yes.
Is that something that he had to cover, or is that outside of? He didn't even need to cover it. You see what I'm saying?
If I have to be honest, I will say that afterwards, and you know this personally, afterwards I do feel like it was wrong.
Okay.
But just the thought of it, even like right now, just thinking about going and having sex or whatever, it doesn't seem bad to me.
Right.
It's not until afterwards when I'm normally having a conversation with somebody who, you know, pretty much brings it up to, hey, you know that was wrong, right? It's like, you know what, that was wrong.
I feel like that's how the enemy works, though.
I was just about to say,
and not
like,
just
that
sex.
That's it.
He works that way in everything.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to let you feel like what he wants you to do is wrong until after you've done it.
Because you're not going to do it. I mean,
and then as soon
there's
as
no way that Eve eats the fruit in the garden if she believed it was wrong before she ate it.
Right.
Yeah, right. She didn't. There wasn't all the questions and the, you know, the accusations and the guilt until afterwards.
That's why up and down with the porn addiction, up and down, sleeping with people. Then, oh my God, please forgive me, I'm not gonna do it no more. Do it again. But it's because it's almost like what they say about labor. You feel that pain, and then when you have your baby, you forget it. Mm-hmm. So you have that where you're done having sex, and then you feel the guilt and the shame. I shouldn't have done that, even though it was super enjoyable. I dressed up for it. I put heels on for it. I looked forward to it and traveled to go do it. And then I felt that, and it's like, so I don't ever want to do this again.
Maybe deep down inside, I really know that that's wrong, and it is a sin that nobody should do. Maybe that's way deep down inside, but
that's everybody and everything.
I just don't.
It is.
Yeah, that's everybody. Because that feeling does not stay. If that guilt and shame would stay, you would never do it again. But it doesn't. It doesn't stay very long. It's the full feeling when you go to Golden Corral and you
we did that the other day.
I ain't never gonna eat at another buffet.
Oh, yeah.
And then you like, I feel like I ain't gonna eat for the rest of the weekend. And it's
later
dinner time.
on. Yeah. Where we gonna eat?
Oh, I'm sorry. What we eat?
Yeah.
Any more of that turkey and dressing?
And it is kind of funny because it is almost involuntary. Like you don't have to try to be on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like just think about it. I really like this. No, it just
facts.
It comes, it happens, and you're like, ooh, and you can be in it before you realize you're in it. You be like, doggone, man, I'm sitting right here for the last 15 minutes staring at this girl's butt. I hadn't even been thinking about it. Just
you can know somebody's bad for you, and you like, you know what? I'm blocking them. And before you can block them, they text, and you be like, oh my God,
what you doing?
Coming to you, and they're saying like, I want to. The reason why I want to is because of my faith. Like, I want us to do this the right way. I want to pray with you. I want to make sure that we are connected, through intimacy, but not sexual intimacy until we're married, because I want to do what's right. You would be like,
it's still no.
But
and maybe it is for me. Maybe it's not for him. Maybe it is for me.
Okay.
Maybe it's for me. Because I don't want to marry him and then not like it and go cheat on him.
I would love to keep this conversation going in the chat. So go ahead and put your thoughts down there so we can keep it going and we can interact with you and get your thoughts just so we can all come together and learn the best way to communicate about sex and faith. Okay, so for more information about what we offer, our coaching services, events and getaways, marriage tools, courses, head on over to
www.onevisionerc.com.
That website again is